Hey there, it's Kristin with Tango Farms. We're back with another video to help you on your path to self-sufficiency through Coturnix quail, rabbits, gardening, and more. Today we're going to be doing our much anticipated video, a tour of our quail barn. We're going to go over some of the materials that we used as well as some of our favorite parts of the quail barn and show you some of the little final touches that I personally really love. I've been super excited to show you guys our quail barn. It's something that we've put a lot of thought into as well as time. You're probably wondering what on earth is taking you so long? You've been talking about this for months. I apologize, but you guys have to understand that Brandon and I both work full-time jobs. We're actually both managers. We have 2 young children. We have 3 cats, a puppy, a slew of rabbits, a bunch of chickens, and I won't even tell you how many quail. So we've been a little bit busy, so I apologize, but I'm gonna tell you right now it's gonna be worth the wait. To start off with, we wanted to make this as budget friendly as possible. So Brandon actually had the idea of building the walls out of pallets. The price of lumber at the time was extremely expensive, so we decided to frame it out with that and then reinforce it with 2x4s and then put some plywood up for the walls. We put that on a base of cinder blocks and landscaping timbers. And then we put a metal roof on, metal sides, as well as a door. A lot of the materials used in this build were upcycled, repurposed, bartered with, so kind of going with that homesteading theme, which makes me feel really excited, makes me feel really good about it. The quail barn itself is 8 feet by 12 feet, and then probably about 10 feet high or so, right? It's about 10 feet high or so. After we had the walls up and everything, we framed out the roof as well with some 2x4s. That's probably one of the only new things that were put into it besides the quail and the cages. We used some old linoleum that somebody had left over to put on the floor to make clean up a little bit easier so I can sweep it, scrub it, use a Swiffer wet jet, whatever I need to do. We did put some insulation up in the top of the roof as well to kind of keep some of that heat in. I don't know if it's showing up on video or not, but it's actually snowing right now. So we, the clock is ticking. So we definitely want to make sure that they stay warm in there. So far, it's been really cold, but we haven't had to add any heat to the barn because just the body heat of the quail plus the insulation, it's nice and toasty in there. I think they're going to be fine. If it gets really, really, really cold, we do have a little space heater that we can put in there, but that's basically just going to keep the water from freezing. The reasoning for that you don't really want it much above freezing is if power goes out or say something happens to the heater and then all of a sudden they lose heat. If they were at a 70-degree atmosphere and then all of a sudden it's 0 because the power went out and there was an ice storm, they're going to go into shock and they're going to die. However, if they were, at 35 to 40 degrees and then the power goes out, that shock is much less. So it's not going to be warm and cozy in there by any means, but it's going to be just fine for them. They acclimate to the weather and climate just fine. Originally, the outside of the barn was just brown. It was just made of brown metal. Again, it was recycled, so it didn't all match because it was different ages and stuff, so it was all brown but different shades of brown, and that really, really bothered me. Not only that, but it was dark, and I was afraid that during the summer that it was just going to kind of bake the quail in there. So I wanted something lighter, but I really didn't want white. So I was kind of thinking, I'm like, well, what about a Celadon blue egg color? So I actually took one of our Celadon eggs into Lowe's, and I color matched it and bought paint. And as you can see, the outside of the quail barn is Celadon egg blue colored. As far as the door, I wanted something that was an accent, but not too in your face, I guess. And I told Brandon about the idea that I had, and he went along with it and he thought it was a great idea. So I'm actually really super excited about the door. I think it's probably one of my favorite parts, probably the favorite part of the quail barn besides the quail. And that's right here behind me. So obviously it's painted like a quail egg, like the regular quail eggs. So I don't know, I think it's kind of cute. So let's go inside and we'll show you some of the decorations and layout in there, I guess. Alright, so we're in the quail barn now. You'll see that the walls are like a teal color. The reasoning for that was it was just leftover paint from painting our daughter's room when we moved. So I started with that, and I almost had enough to completely do the whole thing. I did run out right towards the end, so I did have to go and buy a small amount of paint to finish up. Oh well. I did put some plastic sheeting up on the walls as well. Before I had the plastic up on the walls, the quail, sometimes on the sides of these hatching time cages, they kind of poop like outwards, and it was getting on the wall. So I was cleaning the wall all the time, and then when I was doing like a deep cleaning, like I spent a really long time scrubbing the walls, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I put up this cheap plastic sheeting. They're actually just cheap drop cloths from Walmart. Put those up on some like those little teacup hooks and line the entire thing with it, so when they get gross I can just take them down, put new ones up. Right now they're a little bit dusty, but that's a lot better than all that poop. So you'll also see that we have some brooders in here, and this is where we put our babies. Right now we have 3 brooders in here, and then we actually have a Winola ranch cage on the way, so we're going to need room for that. So one of these brooders is actually going to go out in the chicken barn to make room for that Winola ranch cage. Currently we have a total of 3 hatching time cages. We have 2 5-layers and a 3-layer. We did put some windows, one on each side as well, so I can prop those open in the summer when it's hot out, just kind of for some ventilation. We don't have screen in there, but that is going to be on the list of things to do in the spring so that it'll keep the bugs out, because everybody knows how much I love bugs. I don't. I actually really hate them. We did put some shop lights up to give the birds some light. We want to make sure that they're getting at least 16 hours of light throughout the day. We have that on a timer, so we know that for a fact they're going to get 16 hours of light a day, and they'll keep up that egg production. You might also notice I added a chandelier because I'm extra, and I thought that the quail deserved a chandelier. And then I even added a little disco ball. Well, I don't know if it's really a disco ball, but it's like a light disco-y thing, so I don't know if you can if it shows up on video, but it goes around on the walls. I'll have to come out later tonight and maybe show you guys what it looks like at night when these lights are off and that is on, so I think it's going to look kind of cool. So in short, I absolutely love my quail barn. Brandon kind of started with the idea and ran with it and made it, like, I wasn't asking for much, and he really delivered on this, so I love it. And then I put some of the finishing touches on, so I really, really like this setup. There are a few little things that we need to add yet, but overall I'm over the moon. I absolutely love it, so I hope you guys did too. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification. Thanks. Bye.